sent a message on Valentine's Day. Correct? Not roses are red, violets are blue.
No.
Are you showing up? Because if you're not, then blank you. Correct?
I sent her a message, yes.
You certainly did. Let's have a look at that message. Julie, the lack of communication is getting silky. What did you mean by silky?
Silly.
Oh,
Getting
silly.
Yeah, getting silly now.
Understand. I need to know what is happening. You signed a 3-month contract stating 3-month rent, etc. I'm struggling with the fact you are ignoring me, feel I have no choice but to sell your equipment to cover the rent. Obviously, this is not something I want to do. Be hearing nothing from you is leaving with no choice. Please contact me ASAP. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Now, what part of your contract, very thoughtfully, if I may say, has its problems, but it's a very thoughtful attempt at a clear commercial contract. What part of this contract gives you permission to sell off Julie's property in the event she doesn't pay you rent?
There isn't, and not at any point would I have sold her. I did just say that to try and get a reply out of her because I had sent multiple messages to no avail. We are friends on Facebook, so I can see she had been active on many, many occasions and just chose not to open my messages. So at this point, I was just trying to get a reply out of her so she could let me know what she was doing.
This did, in fact, induce a reply on the 16th of February, correct?
Yes.
What happened next, I have to tell you, is shocking and surprising. The 19th of February, Julie, you went down to the salon. On this occasion, you went with your dad,
Yes.
correct? You went to retrieve your grooming equipment.
I did, yes.
Were you able to do that?
No, I wasn't.
Nothing happens for a month. Madam, why didn't you put all of her stuff in a box and get a third party to go and deliver it to where you knew she lived?
Because at this point I thought there's still outstanding money to me, and at that moment in time it was the only thing that was getting her to communicate with me.
What sort of things do you use? What's the equipment that you use to dog groom?
Manual clippers, blaster, table, scissors, clipper blades, various brushes, lotions, potions for spraying, each coat products, shampoos, conditioners.
Understood.
Yes.
You were keeping all of her stuff, effectively ransom in lieu of rent. I'm going to hold it until you come and pay rent. Why are you entitled to do that in law?
I never said I was entitled to do that in law. That, like I say, I was only doing that to try and get communication from her because she chose to ignore me.
Where were you on the 19th of February when she showed up for work?
I was in the salon working.
Understood. Why didn't you give her her stuff then?
Because at that point I was busy and it wouldn't have been safe for her to be in and out with all the doors open while I've got dogs. It wasn't a suitable time for...
Now, this is important. This is the 19th of February. We'll get to what happened a month later.
Yes.
What happened on the 19th of March?
On the 19th of March, I did receive a text to say that she would be coming to the salon at some point, and that she'd reported me for theft of the equipment.
To whom?
The police. She sent me a crime reference number, which I contacted the police, obviously,
No, I didn't
to
send
ask.
the crime
You
reference
did.
number.
To ask if a claim, obviously, of me stealing had been made. They had no record of it
Yes, they
whatsoever. Later on that afternoon, that's when Julie and...
What happened? You describe what happened.
Well, I was grooming a dog. I have slot times for the dog, so the doorbell went at unarranged time. I wasn't expecting anybody. I opened the door to find Julie, her sister and her dad. I tried to close the door as I was working and didn't want to have an argument. So she barged the door open, barged past me.
Didn't barge the door open.
The salon has a reception room with a large desk and a gate, a bit like this one. So I went to that one and stood behind that, tried to lock
me around, first of all.
Her and her sister then grabbed me and pretty much just barged me out of the way, so that I then had to fall back even further to go back to the back room where the grooming salon is. There's a desk there, so I slammed the door. But as I've slammed the door, I've seen one of my customers waiting outside. So I've grabbed the phone and dealt with my customer while on the phone ringing 999. Her and her father walked straight past, grabbed all the trolley, filled it with stuff and were gone. Even the police operator was on the phone on loudspeaker, asked them all to leave the premises, wait for the police to come so that they could deal with the situation, which they refused to do. Her sister stood guarding the door, so I couldn't shut the door in or out. So,
Thank you very much. You called the police while this was happening.
Yes, I did.
Let me ask you how that felt whilst this was happening.
I was terrified. I was crying on the phone to the police.
What did it do to you when these people showed up? How did it feel, madam?
Very intimidating. For a woman on her own, for 3 people to come and barge the way through, I was extremely intimidated.
Let's see what your sister has to say. She's given a statement before you reply. This is Katie. On the 19th of March, we arrived at the salon and Vicky opened the door. My sister tried to explain why we were there, but Vicky cut her off almost immediately and shoved her. Julie was standing at the top of the stairs, and if I hadn't been stood behind her, she might have fallen and cracked her head open. Julie tried to get into the salon, and before we knew it, she's been shoved all over the place by Vicky. My sister had her hand slammed into the gate and really hurt herself. I don't know why she was being like that. All my sister wanted was to talk to Vicky, and she even took £150 with her as a peace offering. Did you take £150
Yes, I did.
with you?
Yes, I did.
Remember that?
I didn't see any
We didn't
money
even
at all.
We didn't even get the chance to tell her that I'd brought the £150.
Talking. I got in the way to break them up and managed to gather some of Julie's things together, whilst Vicky called the police. Odd that you would call the police for no reason, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
She was trying to make it sound worse than it was on the phone. She was being very dramatic. Plus, Vicky was the one who caused all of this in the first place. For the avoidance of doubt, there was no further action taken by the police. The police considered this to be a civil matter. Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.